Okay, so this is a re-upload of the video I uploaded yesterday of the summary because I didn't catch this for some reason. I was so caught up in everything else. It takes me about 4 days to make one of these videos. So and I was rushing because I had to go to practice and everything. So I missed that in the actual recording. I instead of saying tasers, I say tranquilizers. So, and I'm talking about a very important issue, very sensitive issue. So it's not something that I could just let slide and just ignore it. Like I have to correct that. So in the video, this is a re-upload and I'm correcting it now. In the video, I mean to say tasers, not tranquilizers. Um, 35 people have already seen the video, so it is what it is, but I couldn't let it stay up there like that. So I'm correcting it. Anyways, if you haven't seen it or you're rewatching it, enjoy the video. Republicans make this way too easy. This is the summary. Right. The Republican National Convention, also known as WAP, a white-ass party. So it was important that they show all 4 of Trump's black supporters.
Wondering, why is a lifelong Democrat speaking at the Republican National Convention? And that's a fair question. And here's your answer. The Democratic Party does not want black people to leave their mental plantation. We've been forced to be there for decades and generations. But I have news for Joe Biden. We are free. We are free people with free minds.
Hold on, Vernon Jones, what are you doing? Fall in line, comrade. This whole Democrats forcing black voters to vote for them is absolutely ridiculous. It's simple. One leader is endorsed by the KKK and is as white as I am in the wintertime. The other looks like what our country looks like today. Lost and confused. But you know what's even more confusing? How I can still hear myself after Kimberly Guilfoyle's speech.
Do you believe in American greatness? Believe in yourself, in President Trump. His promise was to put America first, and he has. President Trump believes in you. He emancipates and lifts you up to live your American dream. You are capable. You are qualified, you are powerful, and you have the ability to choose your life and determine your destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters for freedom and liberty and the American dream, the best is yet to come.
Man, I've got the ringing in my ears again. Ah! The feeling you sort of got from last night was that if you're an American, you can do anything. Except if Joe Biden's president. Then the world's gonna end.
They want to destroy this country. They want to steal your liberty, your freedom. You will not recognize this country or yourself.
They want to abolish the suburbs altogether. No matter where you live, your family will not be safe.
The vengeful mob that seeks to destroy our way of life.
A party that wants to burn down the foundations of our country to the ground.
Crime, violence, and mob rule.
They'll disarm you, empty the prisons, lock you in your home, and invite MS-13 to live next door.
With no hope of escape except death itself.
If Biden's president, shootings will be rampant in the streets, even though we say they're going to take away your guns. People will be sick and dying, and the economy will collapse. But I think you guys get the point. The country under Biden, would be an absolute disaster. So that pretty much covers I'm sorry. I gotta talk about Don Jr.'s speech. I mean, we just had so much fun making fun of him last time.
To understand this important principle, in order to improve in the future, we must learn from our past, not erase it. So we're not going to tear down monuments and forget the people who built our great nation.
A textbook.
In other words, if Democrats cared for the forgotten men and women of our country, they'd do exactly what President Trump is doing.
Well, I'm really glad they're not. Hey, Don Jr., what's going on up here? You feeling okay? So while most people who spoke followed Trump's How to Embarrass Yourself in Front of the Entire Country handbook, Melania talked about the real issues.
I want to acknowledge the fact that since March, our lives have changed drastically. The invisible enemy, COVID-19, swept across our beautiful country and impacted all of us. My deepest sympathy goes out to everyone who has lost a loved one, and my prayers are with those who are ill or suffering. I don't want to use this precious time attacking the other side, because as we saw last week, that kind of talk only serves to divide the country further. This modern world is moving so fast, and our children face challenges that seem to change every few months. Just like me, I know many of you watch how mean and manipulative social media can be. We all know Donald Trump makes no secrets about how he feels about things. Total honesty is what we as citizens deserve from our president.
The thing that I love about this speech is that she calls COVID-19 not the Chinese virus. She continually attacks online bullying. And she said we even deserve an honest president. We also got speeches from 2 of Trump's other children, although if Trump doesn't think they're important, then neither should we. Then there was this.
President Trump and the Republican Party may have violated a federal law meant to separate government functions from political ones.
The president hosting a naturalization ceremony from inside the White House with the Marines. Okay. Using his power as president to pardon a bank robber turned activist. Democratic members of Congress this morning are set to investigate whether Secretary of State Mike Pompeo broke any laws by speaking from Israel.
The White House was used as a prominent backdrop, and multiple official duties were conducted at a campaign event, which is possibly a violation of the Hatch Act, which prohibits government employees from participating in some political activities while on the job. But it is worth noting that President Trump has the final say to determine if someone violated the Hatch Act, and he has made clear that positive optics outweigh any potential ethics violations.
Wait, so the person who violated the Hatch Act gets to decide if anyone violated the Hatch Act. Then, the Vice President and Donald Trump's favorite pet, Mike Pence, spoke on night 3 of the convention, and his speech was full of bullshit.
Last week, Joe Biden didn't say one word about the violence and chaos engulfing cities across this country. President Trump and I know that the men and women that put on the uniform of law enforcement are the best of us. Every day, when they walk out that door, they consider our lives more important than their own. People like Dave Patrick Underwood, an officer in the Department of Homeland Security's Federal Protective Service, who was shot and killed during the riots in Oakland, California. Dave's heroism is emblematic of the heroes that serve in blue every day.
First of all, the guy who got charged with killing Officer Underwood was a right-wing terrorist. Anyways, I'm sorry, continue.
Joe Biden says that America is systemically racist, and that law enforcement in America has, and I quote, an implicit bias against minorities. Joe Biden would double down on the very policies that are leading to violence in America's cities. The hard truth is, you won't be safe in Joe Biden's America.
Right, we're all safe right now with the global pandemic running wild. Here's the thing about Pence's speech. He never once lies. He never lies. He just implies things that aren't true. Pence, you're gonna have to brush your teeth again since your mouth is so full of crap. Then, Donald Trump on the final night gave literally the most boring history lesson in history.
Our American ancestors sailed across the perilous ocean to build. These pioneers didn't have money, climbed into their covered wagons, and set out west for the next adventure. Davy Crockett and Buffalo cowboys and sheriffs. They pressed on past the Mississippi, built the great ships, raised up the skyscraper from Normandy to Iwo Jima. And we did it all with style and confidence. We built a 6 million pound rocket and launched it thousands of miles into space. Together we are unstoppable. Together we are unbeatable.
Huh? Oh, is it over? I love history, but I would rather sit in an Algebra 2 class than listen to Trump. Then he began his attack on Joe Biden.
Joe Biden is weak. He takes his marching orders from liberal hypocrites who drive their cities into the ground while fleeing far from the scene of the wreckage. Make no mistake, if you give power to Joe Biden, the radical left will defund police departments all across America. If Joe Biden doesn't have the strength to stand up to wild-eyed Marxists like Bernie Sanders and his fellow radicals, and there are many, we see them all the time, it's incredible actually, then how is he ever going to stand up for you? He's not. Biden is a Trojan horse for socialism.
Okay, this socialist talking point is so old, it's like their only move at this point. On top of all of this, Trump seemed to forget that COVID-19 isn't a thing.
The South Lawn of the White House converted into a packed convention floor. Nearly 2,000 supporters, no social distancing, and very few masks.
You're seeing people shake hands, hug, greet each other like it would be in normal times.
It's almost as if he is trolling people who are concerned about testing and masks and the coronavirus.
What happened last night was dangerous. It was in violation of the president's administration's own health guidelines. Most people were not tested. This was something that indeed could become a super spreader event.
Oh God, if people don't die from this speech, they're definitely going to die of COVID. Okay, so now I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have heard about the news of the shooting of Jacob Blake. To sum up my thoughts on it, if you watch the video, he simply should not have been shot. He wasn't doing anything posing a direct threat to the officers. I hear an argument going around that you need to do exactly what the cops tell you, which, like 99% of the time, yeah, definitely. But I say that, and there should be no reason that a cop should deliver justice. It's a cop's job to bring someone to justice, but not to deliver it. This is why we have to neutralize someone without killing them. Anyways, I could go on and on and on about this, but you know who's getting a lot of attention right now? The NBA.
Mass protests by pro athletes taking a major stance demanding justice over the police shooting of Jacob Blake. The Milwaukee Bucks sparked a basketball boycott and a chain reaction throughout the sports world.
Overnight, the NBA paused the playoffs. This empty court speaking volumes as the Milwaukee Bucks players refused to take the court against the Orlando Magic last night just before tip-off.
Despite the overwhelming plea for change, there has been no action. So our focus today cannot be on basketball.
The Bucks spoke by phone with some of Wisconsin's elected officials, and afterwards they released a collective statement calling for change. They want the police officers involved in the shooting held accountable, and they're also calling on the Wisconsin state legislature to address police brutality and social justice reform.
Wow, the NBA is taking a stand against police violence. This is great to see, honestly. Players using their platform to raise awareness to a certain issue. But some people, Fox News, don't see it that way.
After November 3rd, if they don't like the election, if Donald Trump wins, are they going to boycott the next game? Is football going to follow? Are we going to play sports by what's in the news every day?
They're going to get fans and they will never come back, like myself. So
yeah,
they're
the fans are saying no.
The NBA players are very fortunate that they have the financial position where they're able to take a night off from work without having to have the consequences to themselves financially.
I think that it's nice that they're standing up for the issue, but I'd like to see them start moving into concrete solutions that are productive.
I swear, Fox News is like the snobby kid on the playground that overreacts to everything when something doesn't go their way. Just like their overlord. COVID-19. The one mistake Trump can't run away from. For the past 6 months, all that we've been told is that we need more testing, we need more testing, we need more testing. But now, Trump is changing all of that.
After months of telling Americans that if they're exposed to someone with the coronavirus that they should get tested, the CDC is now saying there's no need in most cases if you have no symptoms. And the New York Times is reporting that the change was ordered from the top down by the president, who believes that bad numbers are meant to hurt his re-election campaign and has said over and over that more tests drive up the numbers of COVID-19 cases. The nation's top infectious disease doctor, Anthony Fauci, says this was done without him. He was under anesthesia and surgery when this was approved.
Yes, the President of the United States is prioritizing getting re-elected over the safety of the American people. Jeez, Trump really doesn't care about us. Now I know what it feels like to be Eric Trump. Well, guys, that's all we've got for the show today. I really hope you all enjoyed, as always. So be sure, guys, to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already to stay updated with the channel. Have a great day whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys in the next one.